plug this in. Oh, this is an exciting live. Exciting, you won't be believing it. Now, where are we? We are here. Here, that's fine. Okay, we've got it for the view. Now, the microphone should be working. Let's put the volume a bit more. I'm going to be redoing some of these videos at that angle for the simple reason that I had to delete, as you know, all my videos with the belly guest due to reading a book that was copyrighted. So today, you can't see my face, but that's fine because we're not here for the face, we're here for homeopathy, aren't we? Yes, we're just checking everything is good here. Now, so far, there's nothing happening. And no doubt that I'm going to have to move all over the place for being uncomfortable, lacking of cushions, etc., etc. So let's put some cushions just in case. Let's move the speakers so we don't get interrupted by things falling on the floor. You tell me I could have done that before. Yes, well, it's all the more fun not to be organized and to be really unprofessional. Yes, do you agree? It's lovely being unprofessional. I find it very funny. Let's hide the phone. Let's hide this which is in the way. Okay, are you ready for the guest? You've not seen the guest for so long, haven't you? Look, today it felt really little. And then tonight it felt really large. So here it is. Do you know what? We need a cushion, don't we, underneath? You say, why do you bother reading the books? Ah, that's because it makes me happy. Oh, and that's still in the way, isn't it? To find a position that's relaxing and good for both of us. It's challenging, isn't it? Look at that. That's beautiful. Yes, it's very exciting, but not as much as this book. Yeah, it felt very much smaller today, my uterus. A uterus in French, it's a masculine thing. You wouldn't believe it, would you? It's strange how the sexual organs have a gender that's like the wrong way around. Ça devrait être la utérus. L'utérus féminine. J'aime pas le mot utérus. It's not very nice, is it, the word? Utérus. And it's like Uranus et Vénus et tout ça. Je sais pas qu'est-ce que ça veut dire le son U. À quoi ça... Oh, ça relates. Bon, c'est un fou là. On voit pas ici, je sais pas. T'en fais pas... Voilà. Well, you can't see the back, but this is all you're going to get. I do my best to look. And I'm not going to do the reading standing up at this time. No, it's just not comfortable. So let me read you about Nat-Mur. Natrum Muriaticum. It is very exciting. This remedy that I was said I had once And it lasted so long, I couldn't wait for it to finish. And now I've read it earlier, I understand why. Natrum Muriaticum, salt, is so common an article of the diet that it has been assumed that it could be of no use in medicine. This is only the opinion of men who operate entirely on the tissues. There are no constitutional effects from crude salt. One may find an individual growing thin with all the symptoms of salt. He is taking salt in great quantities but digesting none of it. Salt will be found in the stool, for it does not enter into the life. There is a Nat-Mur inanition. I didn't know that word. A starving for salt. The same is true of lime. Children can get plenty of lime from their food, and that is better when the salt or the lime is given in such shape that it cannot be resisted by the internal man, aimed not at the house he lives in, but at the individual himself. Then the burn, salt inanition, the Natrum Mur inanition will soon pass away. We do not with our small dose supply the salt that the system needs. Hold on a minute, I'm not comfortable. Oh, bloody cushions. Oh, there we go. This is all very glamorous, isn't it? I love it. This is glamour at its tip-top while reading homeopathy. I wish I had a cushion on the back of my head, actually. And your feet can be without a cushion. Then I can also have a drink when it's necessary. That dangles. Look, I do my best so it doesn't dangle. It just dangles all over the place. There. So far, it's very exciting, Natrum Muriaticum, isn't it? I bet you can't wait to find out what happens. We just spilled water on the carpet. Okay, do you know what? I'm not comfortable here. Okay, remove this one. Throw this one over there. Okay. Where were we? We do not, with our small dose, supply the salt that the system needs, but we cure the internal disease, we turn into order the internal physical man, and then the tissues get salt enough from the food. Drugs must be at all administered in suitable form. We may need to go higher and higher until the secret spring is touched. Natrum Muriaticum is a deep-acting, long-acting remedy. It takes a wonderful hold of the economy, making changes that are lasting when given in potentized doses. A great deal is presented that can be seen by looking at the patient, so that we say, this looks like a Natrum Muriaticum patient. Experienced physicians learn to classify patients by appearance. The skin is shiny, pale, waxy, it looks as if greased. There is a wonderful prostration of a peculiar kind, emaciation, weakness, nervous prostration, nervous irritability. There is a long chain of mental symptoms, hysterical condition of the mind and body, weeping alternating with laughter, irresistible laughing at unsuitable times, prolonged spasmodic laughter. This will be followed by tearfulness, great sadness, joylessness. No matter how cheering the circumstances are, she cannot bring herself into the state of being joyful. She is benumbed to impressions, easily takes on grief, grieves over nothing. Unpleasant occurrences are recalled that she may grieve over them. Consolation aggravated The state of the mind, the melancholy, the tearfulness sometimes bring on anger. She appears to bid for sympathy and is mad when it is given. Headache comes on with this melancholy. She walks the floor in rage. She's extremely forgetful, cannot cast up accounts, is unable to meditate. Cannot cast up accounts? Someone who can't do maths. Oh, I wonder who that is. Forgets what she was going to say. Loses the thread of what she is hearing or reading. Bloody hell, I'm still this, aren't I? There is a great prostration of the mind. Unrequited affection brings on complaints. She is unable to control her affections and falls in love with a married man. She knows that it is foolish, but lies awake with love for him. That did happen, actually. Once or twice. She falls in love with a coachman. A taxi driver? No, I haven't yet. She knows that she is unwise. Or a bus driver, I suppose. Oh yeah, I did. As a teenager, I was always in love with the bus drivers. She knows that she is unwise, but cannot help it. In cases of this kind, Natrum Muriaticum will turn her mind into order, and she will look back and wonder why she was so silly. This remedy belongs to hysterical girls. I don't know if I was hysterical entirely. Maybe I was. Yeah, I was actually at times. When I fell out with a boyfriend, that was hysterical. In a mental state where ignia, which is another remedy, temporarily benefits the symptoms, but does not cure, its chronic Natrum Muriaticum should be given. It is as well to give Nat-Mur at once if there's an underlying constitutional state too deep for igna. Let's look what igna is. Ignitia, or let's have a look. Ignitia, Ignatia, I'm fancy. Ignatia. Ouais, Ignitia. Okay, well, we've learned something called Ignatia. So it is well to give Natrum Mur at once if there's an underlying constitutional state too deep for igna. Aversion to bread, to fats and rich things. Oh, long time, yes. The Nat-Mur patient is greatly disturbed by excitement and is extremely emotional. The whole nervous economy is in a state of fret and irritation, increased from noise, the slamming of a door, the ringing of the bell, the firing of a pistol, increased by music. Yeah. The pains are stitching, electric-like shocks, convulsive jerkings of the limbs on falling asleep, twitchings, shooting pains. She is oversensitive to all sorts of influences, is excitable, emotional, and intense. Yeah. Complaints come on in the warm room. Worse in the house, she wants the open air. The mental complaints are decreased in the open air. She takes cold easily from sweating, but is generally decreased in the open air through worse on getting heated. Decreased by sufficient exertion to heat up, but increased by, you say do this, like those bloody signs, like that, and oh God, which side is it? That I have to think, what was it in the maths and in science and stuff? What does that mean? Increasing, decreasing. Okay. So, yes, so it is worse on getting heated, bigger than by sufficient exertion to heat up, but decreased, bigger than. No, that's bigger than. No, smaller than. Oh, do you know, I wish I bloody would write words. I can't bloody work out the symbols of maths. So, both Nat-Carb and Nat-Mur have the general nervous tension of Natrum. But one is a chilly patient, the other warm-blooded. Just a quick one. I'm going to look at Nat-Carb in case that's salt as well. Let's have a look. Natrum arsenicum. To be the one afterwards. Oh, is it not there? Oh yeah. No, that's bicarbonate of soda. Okay, that's fine. So it's not the one I had, nat carb, even though I'm worse in the cold. Have I always been worse in the cold? Yeah, generally so. So that's that symptom. So all the symptoms don't apply in the remedies, you see. But so that one's quite a different one. That doesn't apply. So one is a chilly patient, the other is warm-blooded. The face is sickly looking. The skin is greasy, shiny, sallow, yellow. You know what? I used to have very yellow all around here. Like that. All my teenage years or as a kid, bloody yellow. And that's a sign of liver usually, isn't it? But yeah, so sallow, yellow. I don't know about shiny. Yeah, it was greasy, but then it was, yeah, how interesting. Often chlorotic, covered with vesicular eruptions around the edge of the hair, the ears, and back of the neck. Maybe as a teenager, I don't remember quite that. I've never had spots up here. They're usually here, there. That's changed actually. So they are scaly and squamous eruptions with great itching, oozing a watery fluid, or sometimes dry. Yes, there's plenty of itching going on, isn't there? Yes. An exfoliation takes place, a shiny surface is left. I used to take my jumpers and exfoliate my skin because it used to peel all the time, and then it was really nice underneath and soft. And it was a bit greasy and shiny then, but before that it was really dry and peeling. Anyway, so exfoliation takes place, a shining surface is left. In the meatus, what the hell is meatus? Scales form and peel off. Well, it must be somewhere on the skin, the meatus, leaving an oozing surface. Watery vesicles form about the lips and wings of the nose. Yeah, I used to get like the acne spots all around here always. I used to squeeze them. All the white would come out. It's nice, isn't it? About the genitals and anus. Watery vesicles in the genitals? No. Only when like waxing or something, and then spots came back where the wax has irritated the, it's gone a bit infected, but that's not really, it's only because of waxing. So no, that's not right. Vesicular eruptions, you'll know all about me after this. I better keep quiet now and just read the book. Vesicular eruptions, white, oozing a watery fluid, come and go. Great itching of the skin is present. I'm remembering, was I very itchy? Because this remedy was given to me when I was in my 20s. Was I very itchy? I had itchy toes, and I always got bitten by mosquitoes. So yeah, I was always itchy at some point. And if it wasn't mosquitoes, it was bloody flea bites. So the skin looks waxy, dropsical. There is great emaciation, the skin looking dry. I need to read up the word again. I looked it up 3 times. I've still forgotten the meaning of emaciation. The skin looking dry, withered, shrunken. An infant looks like a little old man. There is a down on the face. A down, oh yeah. That passes away when improvement sets in. I don't know if, like all over here, like... Oh, that's so interesting. Well, definitely the moustache. In fact, I need to do it. I've got the moustache growing back. Emaciation takes place from above downwards. The collarbones become prominent and the neck looks scrawny. That means like tendons showing and stuff, I suppose. But the hips and lower limbs remain plump and round. Yeah, that's true. Leek, which is another remedy. Leekacia, whatever it was earlier. What did we say it was? Leek. No, oh no, Lycopodium. It was something else we looked at earlier. Lycopodium also has emaciation from above downwards. The directions of remedies will often enable us to distinguish one from another. The characteristic discharge from the mucous membranes is watery or thick whitish, like the white of an egg. There is a marked coryza with a watery discharge. Oh, all these terms. I need my dictionary. What's coryza again? Something to do with the skin? No, I thought coryza was when you cough. Yeah, I think it is. So it's like a discharge from the top of the lungs or something. A marked coryza with a watery discharge, but the constitutional state has thick white discharges. He hawks out a thick white discharge in the morning. I wish it said from where. Is it from the throat or from the nose? From the ears flow a thick white gluey discharge. I don't remember white discharge in the ears, just wax in it. The lochorea is white and thick, it used to be. With the gonorrhea, the discharge has existed a long time and become gleety. I don't know about that, I don't think I've had that. There is smarting in the urethra only after urination. What does smarting in the urethra mean? Does that mean some irritation? Or some like contraction? I need the dictionary. Should I go and get the dictionary? But I won't be able to read my other book if I get the dictionary. What do you think? There's so many words I don't know. It's a bit pointless to read. I could, I suppose, look at my phone, but that's... Look, let's cheat tonight. I'll do the reading and I look at the phone for the dictionary, but tomorrow or whenever, another day, I'll get the proper dictionary, because this is not very nice. When we do study, we want to do it properly with books, not with those stupid devices, isn't it? Now, what are we looking for? What's the word again? Well, coryza, I think I know what it is. Smarting after urination. Right, if I put smarting urethra, it might tell me what this means. Urethra. Female. Smarting, scalding, constricted sensation and itching in the urethra. So what does smarting mean? Yeah, well, I sort of understand what it might mean a bit. Meaning painful urination, causes of burning. Yeah, I've had a bit of that in my life. Okay, where's the smarting gone now? Smarting, the headaches. Now, headaches, I'm not one for headaches. I've not really had many. The headaches are awful. Dreadful pains, bursting, compressing, as if in a vice. The head feels as if the skull would be crushed in. The pains are attended with hammering and throbbing. Pain like little hammers in the head on beginning to move. Hammering pains in the head on waking in the morning. The pain comes on in the latter part of sleep. There is great nervousness during the first part of the night. She falls asleep late and awakes with hammering in the head. There's also headaches beginning at 10 to 11 a.m., lasting until 3 p.m. or the evening. The headaches are periodical, every day or third day or fourth day. Headaches of those living in malarial districts. Bigger than from sleep. The patient must go to bed and be perfectly quiet. Bigger than from sweating. So it means decreased from sweating. Headaches associated with intermittent fever. During the chill, it seemed as though the head would burst. He is delirious and he drinks large quantities of cold water. There is no relief to the head until after the sweat. Sometimes all the symptoms are relieved by the sweat except the headache. In another form of headache, the greater the pain, the more the sweat. Sweating does not relieve. The forehead is cold, covered with a cold sweat. When the head is covered warmly, he is decreasing. Yes, he's decreasing, moving about in the open air. Oh, some bloody signs again. Oh, well, that one. Headaches due to the disturbance of vision where there is an inability to focus rapidly enough. Headache is increased from noise. Headache involving the whole back of the head and then even going down the spine. In troubles following the brain diseases, hydrocephalus. Oh, that cracked. Hydrocephalus, that sounds like a tropical animal, doesn't it? Like a lizard thing with a lump on its back. In spinal troubles, when there is a great sensitiveness to pressure, they get an irritable spine. The vertebrae are sensitive and there is a great deal of aching along the spine. Coughing aggravates the pain in the spine, also walking makes it worse, but it is decreased from lying on something hard or pressing the back up against something hard. They may sit with a pillow or the hand pressed against the back. In menstrual troubles, you find the woman lying with some hard object under the spine. I've done that before. A general nervous trembling pervades the body. There is jerking of the muscles, trembling of the limbs, inability to keep the limbs still, as in the other remedy called a zincum. The stomach and liver are closely related. The stomach is distended with flatus. Well, this is not flatus today, but it was flatus yesterday. Oh, hello, the dogs are going out for a pee-pee. Yes, a distension. Yeah, I used to have such issues with my guts. Always bloated, always achy, lots of gas. And it used to be big. And now it's just this one. After eating, there is a lump in the stomach. It seems to take a long time for food to digest, which is increasing from eating. Whitish, slimy mucus is vomited, attended with relief. There is great thirst for cold water. Let's have a sip quick. Sometimes there is a relief from drinking. Sometimes the thirst is unquenchable. We find fullness in the region of the liver with stitching, tearing pains. Yes, I've had that. The bowels are distended with gas. There is slowing down of the action of the bowels, yes, constipation, the stool being very difficult in hard agglomerated lumps. There is slowing down of the action of the bladder. Must wait before the urine will start, and then it comes slowly, dribbles. There is not much force in the flow. After urination, there is a sensation as if more urine remained in the bladder. If anyone is present, she cannot or he cannot pass her urine, cannot pass it in a public place. I've struggled with that for fucking years. I couldn't piss if there was anybody else in the toilet. Not with me in the room. It's so bloody difficult for bloody years. And when did it stop? I did something and it stopped, some sort of therapy or mental work on myself. I don't know what it was, but now I can pee if there's other people around. So sometimes I don't know if I can let go. It will make a noise, they will all hear me and think I'm peeing. Well, yes, that's what it's there for, isn't it? What, you know what? This is brilliant because I can read this and I think, yes, this was me. I don't know if it's still me, but it's very interesting. There is also continued urging, so always wanting to pee. You must pass the urine often. This remedy and natural self were used by the homeopaths to clear up chronic diarrhea, the old army diarrhea. Natrum Mur is useful in the complaints of women in troublesome menstruation. There is a great variety of menstrual complaints. Menses too scanty or too free, too late or too soon. We cannot individualize from the menstrual symptoms. We must do it from the constitutional state. Examine every possible function to be sure you have all the symptoms. Examine every organ, not by examining it physically, for results of disease do not lead to the remedy, but examine the symptoms. Observe the rapidity with which remedies affect the human system. There are some that are long-acting, deep-acting. Natrum Muriaticum is one of these. It operates very slowly, bringing about its results after a long time, as it corresponds to complaints that are slow, that are long in action. This does not mean that it will not act rapidly. All remedies act rapidly, but not all act slowly. The longest acting may act in acute diseases, but the short acting cannot act long in chronic diseases. Get the pace, the periodicity of remedies. Some remedies have a continued fever, some a remittent, some an intermittent fever. In Acon, which is a remedy, belladonna and brianna, we have 3 different paces, 3 different motions, 3 different forms of velocity. So in sulf, graph, Nat-Mur, carboveg, a different form, a different development. Some would not hesitate in a continued fever to give belladonna, but its complaints come on in great haste, with great violence, and have nothing in their nature like a continued fever. This is not like typhoid. Belladonna and Acon have no manifestation of typhoid, even if the symptoms are present. Be sure that the remedy has not only the group of symptoms, but also the nature of the case. The typhoid case has a likeness in Brie or Rus, but not in Bell. We owe no obedience to man, not even to our parents. Really? I thought we must obey every bloody fucker out there. Really? Oh. After we are old enough to think for ourselves, we do not owe obedience. We owe obedience to truth. Natrum Muriaticum is a long-acting remedy. Its symptoms continue for years. It conforms to slow-coming, long-lasting, deep-seated symptoms. It requires long time for a man to be brought under the influence of it, even when moderately sensitive. The chill, now coming for chilling, the chill comes in the morning at 10:30, every day, every other day, every 3rd or 4th day. The chill begins in the extremities, which become blue. There is throbbing pain in the head, as the face is flushed. Shut up. Who is it anyway? The face is flushed, delirium, talking of everything, constant maniacal actions. Delirium? Have I been delirious in the morning at 10:30? Talking of everything? If there was someone, yes, quite likely. Constant maniacal actions. They grow worse until a congestive attack comes. During the entire attack, there is thirst for cold water. During the coldness, he is not decreased by heat, not decreased by piling on the clothing, but wants cold drinks. We would naturally suppose that a person freezing to death would want warm things, but the Natrum Muriaticum patient cannot bear them. The teeth shatter, it tosses from side to side, the bones ache as if they would break, and there is vomiting as in congestive conditions. In the fever, he is so hot that the fingers are almost scorched with the intense heat, and he goes into a congestive sleep or stupor. The sweat relieves him. The aching all over is decreased by the sweat, and in time the headache passes away. There is intense chill, fever, and sweat. Sometimes the attacks are in robust, strong people, but usually in the anemic, in emaciated people full of malaria, lingering chronic cases. Complaints do not always have this long prodrome. Its most striking use is in cases that have been living a long time in malarial swamps, saturated with the malarial atmosphere. They are anemic, often dropsical, in all cases that have been mixed with arsenic and quinine, the crude drugs used by the old school so to break the fever as long as the patient is under their sway. But the patient is sick internally even more than before. And when the condition comes back, it is generally in its original form. The crude drug is usually unable to change the type of an intermittent fever. Remedies only partly related to the case will change the character of the sickness, so that no one can cure the case. Hold on, I need to reread that, that's important. The crude drug is usually unable to change the type of an intermittent fever. Remedies only partly related to the case will change the character of the sickness so that no one can cure the case. Does it mean homeopathic remedies? I think so. So if you give the wrong remedy, it will fuck up the person. The homeopathic remedy will cure intermittent fever every time if you get the right remedy. If there is a failure, the case is mixed up so that no one may be able to cure it. First of all, a master must realize the case and turn it into order so that it can then be cured. There are few men who never spoil a case of ag, because many cases come from partly developed, masked cases, the symptoms not being all out, especially in cases that have taken homeopathic remedies. The homeopathic failures are the worst failures on earth. Wow. It did warn us that homeopathy is a poison, if administered wrongly, and the wrong one. Wow. It's not just nothing, is it? Natrum Muriaticum. Shut up. Normally my phone's on silent. I never hear anything. It keeps bloody bleeping. Natrum Muriaticum is irregular enough in its nature to develop the chills into regularity. When it has come into better order, wait. Either the whole case will subside or another remedy will be clear. There are other remedies that can turn cases into order. Often, cases spoilt by homeopaths can be turned into order by sepia. Marked cases with congestion of the head, aching in the back, and nausea are turned into order by ipecac. Ipecac. That's a funny name. Ipecac. It sounds a bit like South American or something. The cure is permanent after homeopathic prescribing. The chills do not return. Natrum Muriaticum not only removes the tendency to intermittence, but restores the patient to health, and takes away the tendency to colds, that is, the susceptibility to colds and to periodicity. That's true, I had less colds eventually. It is the susceptibility that is removed. We know that every attack predisposes to another attack. Each attack of ag is more ag, maybe it's pronounced, I don't know, ag or ag. It's more destructive than the previous one. The drugs used increase the susceptibility. The homeopathic remedy removes the susceptibility. Homeopathic treatment tends to simplify the human economy and to make diseases more easily managed, unless this susceptibility be eradicated. Man goes down lower and lower into emaciation from above downwards. Let's look at what emaciation is. So maybe after looking it up 20 times, I might remember then eventually. Every time I see the word, I think emancipation. It's nothing like that. Emaciation. No, not cystion. Ciation. The state of being abnormally thin or weak. Thin to the point of emaciation. All right. Yeah, I suppose that would apply to me at some point. Oh, but where were we? Emaciations. Is it white discharge, like the white of an egg? I don't know. I'm not going to do it in front of you. It's rude. I'll just swallow it, shall I? Children born in a malarial region are likely to go into marasmus. They have a voracious appetite, a wonderful hunger, eating much but all the time emaciating. Conditions of pregnancy with Natrum Muriaticum. The mammary glands waste. There is wasting of the upper parts of the body. The uterus is intensely sore. The lochoria, which is at first white, turns green. Women take cold in every draught of air. There is pain during sexual congress with dryness of the vagina. What's sexual congress? I guess that means sexual acts, probably. A feeling as though sticks pressed into the walls of the vagina. Pricking pains. There is dryness of all mucous membrane. Everywhere the membranes are dry. The throat is dry, red, patulous. Sensation of a fish bone dragging into it when swallowing. There is inability to swallow without washing down the food with liquids. There is sticking all the way down the esophagus. I've had that. I still have it when eating potatoes. It's exciting. It doesn't go down at all much. Most prescribers give HEP. For every sticking of a fish bone, sensation in the throat. This is the old keynote, the old routine. Nitre ac, argent, nit. Alum and Natrum Mur all have it, but all differently. HEP, the tonsils are swollen, full purple quinsy. The patient is sensitive to the slightest draught. There is pain in the throat, even on putting the hand out of bed. He sweats in the night with no relief. He is sensitive to every impression, feels everything, 10 times amplified. Nitre ac. There are yellow patches in the throat, rugged, jagged ulcers in the throat, or is inflamed and purple. The urine smells like horse urine. What does that smell like? Argent nit. There is much hoarseness, the vocal cords being disturbed. The throat is swollen, patulous. The patient wants cold things, cold water, cold air, adapted to those cases that have had ulceration of the os uteri, whatever that is, with cauterization. Shall we look what os uteri is? It's nothing to do with the uterus, is it? Os uteri. Lake in India? What? Where were we? Os uteri. But I've spelled it right. Os uteri meaning. Definition. Os uteri. Oh, it is to do with the uterus. Os uteri internum, isthmus of uterus, an elongated constriction at the junction of the body and cervix of the uterus. An elongated constriction. It's vaguely interesting. Okay, adapted to. Oh no, that's natural argentinite. Ossuary with cauterization. Ulceration. Natrum Nat-Mur, there is extreme dryness of the mucous membranes as if they would break. Chronic dryness without ulceration. There is much catarrhal discharge like the white of an egg with dryness of the mucous membranes when not covered by this mucus. The patient is extremely sensitive to a change of weather. Don't know, I've never noticed. I don't like it when it's not blue sky, but isn't that everyone? Every remedy has its own pace, its order of succession. We must bear in mind the order of succession. Natrum Mur is useful in all the dropsies, especially dropsy of cellular tissues. What's dropsy? Do we know what dropsy is? I should get my dictionary. Next time it will take twice as long. What do you mean, bloody interest? I'm not interested. Go away. Oh, bloody interests. Dropsies. That sounds like some old, no, not deposits. Some old disease. Dropsies. Old-fashioned or less technical term for edema, which means edema, a swelling of soft tissues due to the accumulation of excess water. Ah, yes, edema. Ah, right. Dropsies. So Nat-Mur is useful in all dropsies, especially dropsy of cellular tissues. Sometimes there is dropsy of sacs, dropsy of the brain following acute diseases. In acute spinal meningitis with extreme nervous tension, where there is chronic drawing back of the head, chronic jerking of the head forward. Chronic drawing back of the head, chronic jerking of the head forward. I know I've got the head forward, but I don't think it's a jerking, is it? Acute diseases that result in hydrocephalus or an irritation of the spine. That's that animal again from Central America, isn't it? Hydrocephalus. Sometimes useful in abdominal dropsy, but more often in edema of the lower extremities. I had edema of the feet and ankles not so many years ago. Acute dropsy after scarlet fever. The patient is oversensitive, starts in his sleep, rises up in the night with confusion. I've done that, but we've all done that. Everyone has symptoms from every remedy, hasn't it? So rises up in the night with confusion. There are albumen and casts in the urine. Now, I don't know what casts is. Would that be like little salt deposits? Because I look at my urine a lot, as you might know. I don't know about albumen. Does that mean like it's sort of stringy or something? Well, if there is, I've not noticed because I would have thought it came from the vagina because that's sometimes albumen-like, isn't it? But I don't know about the casts in urine. Let's have a look what casts in urine is. So I can have a look to see if I've got any. Casts in urine. Oh, via bloody phone. You're a pain in the ass. You're just a waste of time. Casts in, not on. A urinary cast, tube-like structure that forms in urine as a result of conditions, infection, problem with kidney function. Sometimes dehydration or intense workout can cause that. There are microscopic clusters of particles such as cells, fat bodies, or microorganisms wrapped in a protein matrix found in the urine. Yeah, I've got some from time to time. I thought that was normal. I suppose it's not entirely. It should be pure, shouldn't it? Right, let's carry on. We'll leave that for now. Where are we? edema in the lower extremities, acute dropsies, albumin and cast in the urine. In dropsy after the malaria, Nat-Mur, when it acts curatively, generally brings back the original chill. The only known cure to man is from above down, from within out, and in the reverse order of coming. When it is otherwise, there is only improvement, not cure. When the symptoms return, there is hope. That is the road to cure, and there is no other. The skin symptoms are sometimes very striking. In old lingering cases where the skin looks transparent as if the patient would become dropsical, a waxy, greasy, shiny skin. Other remedies with greasy, shiny skin are plumb, tuya, and selen. These remedies go deep into the life. Any remedy that can produce such wonderful changes is long-acting. Useful after labor when the mother does not progress well. She is feeble and excitable. The lochia is prolonged, copious and white. The hair falls from the head and genitals. The milk passes away or the child does not thrive on it. Useful in after pains where there is subinvolution of the uterus. The uterus is in a state of prolonged congestion. Prolonged congestion. Interesting. She is increased by noise, music. I guess it means aggravated. Is there a bloody lexic of like mathematical bloody signs at the beginning of this book? I think there is. Oh, go on. Oh no, maybe it's in the first book. Well, is that the first book? Oh, it doesn't tell us what the bloody thingy means. Oh, well, I think it means that it's decreasing and increasing. So she doesn't like noise. She's made worse with noise, music, and the slamming of a door. She craves salt and has an aversion to bread, wine, and fat things. Sour wine disorder the stomach. Nat-Mur will clear up the ease, restore the milk, turn the case into order. Natrum Muriaticum is needed by those chlorotic girls who have a greasy skin, a greenish-yellowish complexion, who menstruate only once in 2 or 3 months. The menses are copious or scanty and watery. Where the symptoms agree, this remedy can eradicate this chlorosis and turn the countenance into a picture of health. But not in a short time. It takes years to establish health in a typical chlorosis. The cut finger bleeds only water. The menstrual flow is only a leukorrhea. There is pernicious anemia. Nat-Mur goes deep enough into the life to restore the pink complexion. Phew, that was a bit, wasn't it? Now shall I look at this one? I've got a headache now. It's the headache from the book. After saying I never get headaches. Look, that's my newly covered book. It's nice, isn't it? I've got 10 of those. I've made the spine. All handwritten. It's lovely. It's to protect them, and also all my books will have a similar look. Then I like that. So let's look at Nat's thingy in this book. Natrum Muriaticum. I probably won't read it all because it really is time for bed. It must be 11:30 by now. Come on, Natrum Muriaticum. Oh, someone's left a little message in there. Oh, that's nice. Oh, it's German. I bought these books in Germany. I can't read German. Can you read German? Look. Is it a love letter to someone? Do you want it closer? Can you read German? No? Yes? No? Look, I'll read it. Kampfklüner in Abfallen, Tiefim Kampf, Hinterdo, Vasendurulen absuklim als warm gemand. I can't even read the writing, really. That doesn't help that I don't know a word of German. Mitklen, Lafül, Sachsim, Hermindivlim, Geler, Alabwich, Etavas, Benz. Okay, Natrum Muriaticum. Let's have a look if there's anything on the sexual organs. Oh, vertigo. They like vertigo in homeopathy. There's vertigo everywhere. Lots of symptoms of vertigo. Dry coryza. Smell and nose. Loss of smell and taste, especially with catarrh. Feeling of dryness in nose, stoppage. Dry coryza or dry nasal catarrh. Easily takes cold in the head, is constantly obliged to wrap it up. If he allows it to be uncovered during day, has stoppage of nose. At night, stoppage as in blockage. Coryza fluent, alternating with stoppage. Posterior, nares dry. With hawking in the morning, spasm of sneezing each morning, or ineffectual attempts. Great swelling of mucous membrane in upper portion of the nose, difficulty breathing through nose, speaking through nose. I think I do, but then a lot of us do. Loss of smell, coryza excessive, fluent coryza, loss of smell and taste, catarrh, secretion, clear. I know it's the symptoms of COVID, isn't it? It's COVID in the book. It's Natrum Muriaticum COVID. Catarrh, secretion, severe coryza. Severe coryza, that's definitely COVID. Have you done your testing today? Consisting of clear white discharge, so profuse it was necessary to lay a towel under the nose. Awoke every morning with a headache. After rising, discharge from nose continued with violent and frequent sneezing, loss of taste and smell, troublesome cough from tickling in throat pit, squirming in nostril, as two of a small worm. Hay asthma. Hay fever, watery discharge. Oh God, that's a disgusting thought. Oh, fuck yeah. I wish I hadn't read that. Squirming, watery discharge from eyes and nose. Colds cause vesicular eruptions with watery contents which burst and leave these thin scurfs or crusts. Scurfs and scabs in the nose. Cold in the head, lips, and alae nasi, thickly set with fever blisters. Is that like herpes stuff? Fever blisters. Influenza, watery running at nose, great sleepiness, thick mucus, lots of smell and taste, membranes thickened. I don't know. How do you know if your membranes are thick? Maybe because you don't breathe so easily. Cold in the head, we've read that. Burning pain in nasal burns, only in cold. At the roof of the nose in Malawi. Okay, we've read enough of the nose. Exfoliation of skin on dorsum of nose. Redness of nose with pimples, vesicles, and painful nodules. Nose on one side feels numb. No, that's not the case at the moment. That's very good. Upper face, very pale. One pasty, livid, swollen, sallow. Liden. Shines, yellow, earthy, yellowish, leukorrhea, pale, bloated, diphtheria, blue edema of lung, redness of cheek, heat in face. I need to find a remedy with red nose. That would be interesting. Restless sleep, increased lacrimation regularly at 7 a.m, increasing till noon, decreasing, never leaving entirely. Don't know what that means. Blisters like pearls around the mouth. Lips, corner of the mouth ulcerated and cracked. Yeah, used to. Lips dry and cracked, yeah. Ragades or bleeding scabs. Yeah, I used to get humid sores in commissures. Upper lip swollen, no. Eruptions, smarting pain, red of lips. Lips tingle and feel numb, vesicles of lower lip below the septum of the nose, which burns. Huh? That's like moustache wax spots again, isn't it? But only when waxing. Deep painful fissure in middle of upper lip. I bet you they don't know people have waxed their moustache and then genital area and then they get the spots and then it ends up in the homeopathy book as a symptom. Swelling of lower lip, tip of the tongue, violent burning, wakes him at night. Tongues, teeth sensitive to air or touch, molar pain when chewing. Oh, there's too many symptoms. Is there any dreams on that one? Let's have a look. Oh, stool and rectum, that's interesting. Hypochondria. Distension about liver after eating, lessening as digestion advances. Violent perceived pain in hepatic region, stitches, tension. Liver inflamed, jaundice with drowsiness. Dropsy, liver disease. It's hard to know, really. Oh, abdomen swollen, rumbling and incarceration of flatus, a fermentation, loud gurgling. Pressure in the upper abdomen, cutting, gripping with rumbling in the abdomen. After a stool, gripping colic, as in diarrhea, without results. Pinching pain in right side of the abdomen, perceived pain running from navel to pelvis. In left side of abdomen, cramping pains in lower abdomen during menses, colic with nausea by emission of flatus. Bilious colic presenting belching of carboveg and pains of diosc and coloc. Flatulent or labor-like colics. I don't think I've had colics. I've been lucky, really. But again, that's like all the symptoms, so it doesn't apply to everybody. Burning in the intestines. When walking, abdominal viscera feels as if loose and is dragging. Continuous severe pain in abdomen, frequent with affection of ovaries, especially of right one. Pale face, difficult digestion, yes, that used to be. Sensation of pressure from navel downwards with leaden heaviness across bladder and pelvis. Constipation. So yes, I've definitely got a lot of those fat symptoms of belly, haven't I? Sensation as if of a weight hanging across pelvis and bladder. Oh, really? Decreased during motion and compelling patient to bend forward when seated. Do I bend forward when seated? I don't know, I'm always looking at the computer, so I suppose I am bending forward. When coughing, pain in the abdominal ring extending into testicles, as if spermatic cords would be torn to pieces. Tightness of skin across abdomen from hip to hip, must loosen clothes. From hip to hip, it's more across the belly, really. Abdomen sunken, discharge from navel, yellowish or peculiar odor after suppressed gonorrhea. Gastroduodenal, catarrh, causing jaundice. Stool and rectum, want to pass wind, but does not know whether flatus or feces will escape. That's funny. It has happened, but usually it's in the case of diarrhea, isn't it? Stool, frequent, watery discharge with a gush, involuntary curating, frothy, black, watery, greenish, watery, greyish, transparent. Glassy, slimy, like whites of an egg, without feces. Bloody, profuse, gushing, corrosive, involuntary, alternating with constipation. I suppose a little bit, but not quite like that bad. The only time I've had transparent feces is when I've done a liver flush, and it's like you get the like slimy stuff coming out after the stones have passed. It's exciting. Have you done a liver flush? It's very nice. You feel sick all night after drinking your potion, Before that, you have 5 days of drinking apple juice every day, and then one day just lots of apple juice, nothing else, and then no fats, and then you drink olive oil and what is it? Grapefruit juice. It has to be grapefruit, or it could be lemon and orange, and then you go to bed. Oh, but I forgot, you have to drink lots of Epsom salts or magnesium of any sort to open sotol, to open the duct. So your doctors will tell you that's all bullshit, but because the gallbladder and that it opens up and there's stones in there and they soften with the apple juice, and then they sort of prop out and they come out the other end. And then the night is, every time it's very horrible for me. I feel sick all night, but can't vomit. And then the morning, it's very exciting. I sit on a bucket, and then first it's like green water comes out, and then its little balls eventually start coming out, and they smell really funny, and I think that's a smell of bile, that recognizable smell, and I've touched them because they're very exciting. They're sort of greasy, but of it's not a shit smell at all. There's no turds, because I forgot to say you have to do a really big enema before the night before as well, because you need your colon clean from shit, so then you can watch all your little green turds. They're greasy and it doesn't wash off very well. Like, it's emulsified fat, but it's bizarre. I don't know, something that feels like that actually. But I've never had the red ones, because apparently there's biliary ones or something that I've read, and I've only had green ones or yellow stones. But yeah, as then after all the stones have gone, then there is like mucousy stuff. And I've had cambo before, you know, the holes on the skin, which I've shown you in another video, my holes on the arms there. That's a frog poison, and you put it on your skin after a little burn, and there you puke and you shit everywhere. And that is like the liver flush, because I noticed the same sort of smell of liver, that sort of biley. It's that's very exciting, cambo, because it's nice to be sick. It actually improved my digestion of fats, and I used to not be able to eat beef fat and stuff like that, and it would just stay here. And now I can. I digest really well, and I think it's a cambo rather than the liver flush. But it's quite extreme, and you end up with a few scars, and they never really go away. But I don't do it now because I'm not allowed with the homeopathy. Shame, isn't it? But cambo is very nice. It's really good to purge in that way. So, where was I? We were looking at the turds. Watery diarrhea with colic, incessant thirst with nausea, emaciation, beginning at or principally on neck, abdomen bloated. There's a noise there. Vomiting diarrhea, chronic intestinal catarrh, greenish bloody watery, chronic diarrhea, digestive disturbances and tendency to diarrhea after abuse of opium. Now that's a weird symptom. I thought opium gave constipation. Opium, that is not something I fancy personally. I've never tried it, but I don't fancy it really. Chronic diarrhea of children, sporadic cholera, stools white, watery. I've had yellow stools once, like really pale. It was really exciting. It was at the time I was doing the liver flushes, and that's why I thought my liver was not working. Chronic diarrhea in mornings after getting up, moving about, and after farinaceous food, profuse emission of flatus, mostly fetid. Patient suffers much from inflammation and suppuration around nails. That's interesting. Digestive disturbances and tendency to diarrhea after abuse of opium. Who abuses of opium? I suppose like in the, when this was written in the, is it written in the 30s or something? People used to have opium over the counter. It used to be allowed, didn't it? That's why it would be written that they abused of it. Oh, copyright 1879. So yeah, at the time everybody had opium in their pharmacy. Okay, where are we now? Sporadic cholera stools. I don't know what cholera stools is like. I've never had cholera. I don't fancy it, thank you. Cholera in drunkards. A teaspoonful of salt in a glass of water. Irregular stools, painful stools, hard, difficult stools, liquid stools following, chronic soft stools, ineffectual desire for stool, frequent constipation, obstinate retention of stools, stools irregular, hard, unsatisfactory on alternate days. That used to be me. Stools hard, dry, crumbling during menses, stool in large masses. Stool like sheep dung. Oh, I've had that so much. From inactivity of rectum, anus contracted or torn, bleeding, smarting, burning afterwards sometimes. Stitches in rectum, causing hypochondriasis or ill humor, great torpor without pain, from want of moisture, dryness of mucous lining, watery secretions in other parts, difficult expulsion, fisturing anus, with flow of blood, leaving a sensation of much soreness, with uterine displacement. Uterine displacement. That's exciting. I'm not sure it really applies to me though. Hemorrhoidal, in Addison's disease, before stool, rumbling in the abdomen, frequent desire without result, inactivity of rectum and no desire, burning in rectum, pressure on bladder and rectum, contraction in urethra and rectum, cutting abdominal pain. During stool pulsation, contraction, lancinating pain at anus as from ulceration. Tenesmus, oh, I don't know what tenesmus is, I've looked it up, I forgot. Hemorrhage from rectum, scratching and burning in the rectum, labor-like abdominal pains by pressure. After the stool, burning, tearing, itching about anus. I thought that was just worms. Well, that's that. Pinching abdominal pain, ineffectual straining. Stupefaction, nausea, vertigo, burning and smarting in anus and rectum, ripping sensation, tenesmus, fissures with bleeding and smarting, burning pains. Prolapsus, sensation as if a foreign substance or very rough hard feces were lying in rectum, with constant looseness of bowels. Dryness of rectum and anus with smarting of pulsation, stitches, itching stitches in rectum in evening in bed, protrusion of rectum, prolapsus, hemorrhoids with protruding rectum and much smarting, soreness at anus around it when walking. Hasn't got everybody got hemorrhoids in the West? I thought like most people have. Or is it not common? I think it's common. So, oh well. Protrusion, hemorrhoids, soreness, seatworms. Lessens disposition to have worms. What does that mean? Herpes around anus. Urinary organs. Oh, do we need to read about that? Incontinence. Has to wait long for urine to pass, especially for those are nearby. We read that in the other book. Male sexual organs, excessive irritability of sexual organs and fancy with physical weakness. Sexual desire with frequent erections and pollutions. Seminal emissions every night soon after coition, followed by chilliness and lassitude. With increased sexual desire. How can you have lassitude and chilliness and increased sexual desire? Embrace weakens. Coldness of joints. Genital organs smell badly and strongly. Feeling of weakness in sexual organs, sexual instinct dormant, with retarded emissions during an embrace. After sexual excesses, physical weakness, even paralysis, emission of prostatic fluid without erection when thinking of sexual things. Because of the sexual excesses, physical weakness and paralysis, emission of prostatic fluid without erection, erection in morning without sexual excitement, impotence, spermatoria, poor digestion, spinal irritation, discharge of prostatic fluid. I hope you're listening because you're probably a man. I've not got those things. Discharge of prostatic fluid, urethra painfully sore to pressure. A thin liquid is discharged from the urethra, causing itching and burning. Yellow purulent discharge from urethra makes spots on linen like gonorrhea. No pain when urinating, some tension in inguinal glands which are not swollen. Gonorrhea resulting from acrid leukorrhea. What? Men get leukorrhea as well? Really? Really? I thought it was just women. It makes sense, but they haven't got a uterus. I thought leukorrhea was just for ladies. Oh, menstrual discharge. Hold on. Am I still reading about men? Yes. Menstrual discharge. Well, you lot who think you don't have the menses, you have the menses, but you can't have tampons. You have to have like a different type of tampons, don't you? Like one with like that. Menstrual discharge. So you must have a menstrual cycle of some sort, you lot. Yellow, black discharge. Let's carry on. Let's not get you all upset thinking you're a lady. Gonorrhea, especially when chronic, discharge usually clear, sometimes yellowish, cutting in urethra after urination. Gleat-like discharge of clear mucus, transparency, watery slime after injection of nitrate of silver. Injection of nitrate of silver for men. Itching and crawling sensation at corona glandis. I don't know where that is, no idea. You hopefully know where that is. Itching and stinging on glans, penis, and on scrotum. Prepuce retracted between glands. No, behind. Oh, God. Prepuce retracted behind glands, whatever that means. Aching in testicles or orchitis after suppression of gonorrhea or mumps. Scrotum relaxed, flabby. Buttocks emaciated in infants. Most violent itching on scrotum, disturbing sleep at night. Itching, soreness and moist herpes between scrotum and thighs. Pus-like smegma on glands. Scrotal edema, hydrocele. Loss of hair from pubes. Now, female sexual organs. Diminished sexual desire. Averse to coitus. Painful from dryness of vagina, burning, smarting during coitus. Anemic women with dry mouth and dry skin. After embrace feels easy and light-hearted at first, later ill-humoured. Fuck off. Sterility, menses too early, too profuse, too late and scanty. Sterility? Oh. Every morning, pressing and pushing towards your genitals must sit down to prevent prolapsus. Ooh. Well, I do that, but I push my belly down so it stops bloody going onto my diaphragm. Prolapsus uteri, of the uterus, with aching in the lumbar region, lying on the back, cutting in urethra after micturition. Uterine cramps with burning and cutting in groin. So I used to have that, but not anymore since the fibroid actually has saved me from quite a lot of pain, oddly. Pain in uterus or ovarian region or right ovarian region, extending down the thighs from reading or writing. Uterus painful. Oh, my back is painful now. Oh. Column uteri thickened, swollen with ulcers on os. Glassy phlegm from uterus. Obstinate, that's going to fall on me, isn't it? And the phone. Obstinate what? Obstinate constipation. Oof. A string felt between the uterus and the sacrum in hind part of a fornix. What? A string felt between uterus and sacrum. Where's the sacrum again? Ah, down there. Okay. A string, oh really? In hind part of fornix, exceedingly sensitive to the touch. I don't remember. Menses are too early, 7 days too soon, too profuse or too long duration, too late, too long, delaying, too late and scanty, more at night. Scanty a day or two, then copious, thin, watery, pale, scanty and delaying with anemia and chilliness. Delayed menses causes bloody saliva, heat in face and heavy abdomen. I've never really had delayed, so no, I can't say about that. Delaying catamenia in young girls. Scanty catamenia with endocarditis. I don't know what catamenia is. Shall we look? Just in case it's interesting. Catamenia. Let's spell it right and not swear at the phone. Catamenia meaning blood and other matter discharged from the uterus at menstruation. Oh, that's what I would like to have. I'd like to have some other discharges of like bits of skin, like bits of membrane and bits of hard stuff, like you know, like laying an egg. That would be nice. It's coming, it's coming. Suppressed menstruations from putting feet in cold water. Oh, really? Followed by general debility, headache, backache, etc. Chlorosis of long-standing nervous palpitation in cachectic persons. Dysmenorrhea with convulsion. Salt sits bath. I don't know what dysmenorrhea is, but I don't remember many convulsions, so I won't look it up for now. Before menses, anxious and sad, irritable, qualmish, nausea, sweatish, eructations in the morning, headache, eyes heavy, palpitations, disposition to faint, expectoration of bloody saliva. I've never had that. That must be exciting. Leukorrhea, contraction in hypogastrium. Oh, I need to look it up. What's hypogastrium? Hypogastrium. The part of the central abdomen which is situated below the region of the stomach. So, hypo, lower gastro. Gastro is that, isn't it? Yeah. So it's like halfway between that and there, I suppose. So let's go back. That's exciting. Yes. So this. Where were we? So burning. Look. Oh yeah, contraction in hypogastrium. Stitches. Yeah. Stitches from loin into uterus. Lassitude and trembling, twitching of eyelids, pressing headache, scraping face ache, toothache. During the period, sadness, headache, colic, palpitation. After menses, headache, congestion of the head, itching vulva. Yes. Dryness of vagina, aversion to coition, leukorrhea, milky urine, colic, diarrhea, difficult respiration, palpitation, accelerated pulses, dullness, stinging and cutting in the head, paleness, twitching before falling asleep. Leukorrhea, very profuse with excessive debility. Debility? Oh, what does that mean? We feel debilitated when there's a lot of leukorrhea. Yeah, and you men, you have leukorrhea too. Take that. Ça alors. Where were we? Oh, I've lost myself again. I keep losing where I am reading from. It's the excitement. Oh, it's a symptom. Oh yeah. Excessive debility, acrid greenish in the morning, transparent, watery, with yellow complexion, greenish particularly after walking, with headache preceded by colic and bearing down, producing itching of pudendum at night. What's that? Pudendum. Where do they find those names? I think they make them up. Pudendum. 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 A person's external genitals, especially a woman's. So pudendum what? Pudendum. How are you supposed to know those bloody words? Oh, where's the pudendum gone? Ah, that's it. Producing itching of pudendum at night. With smarting pain, glassy with constipation, lasting only a few hours. Yellow before catamenia. Oh, what's catamenia? Did I look that up? I don't think I did. No, I just did, didn't I? Oh, so did I can't remember. No, I'm trying to make an effort. No, let's not make an effort. Excoriating, tetter-like. There's too many words in this. Scalding, irritating, causing itching and falling off of hair on pubes. Corroding, transparent mucus. Glit with clear discharge, green, intensely itching. Dryness or coolness and paleness of vagina. Burning and soreness of vagina after urinating. Vulvitis with falling off of hair. Itching of external parts with falling off of hair. Pimples on mons veneris. Venerable mons. Oh. Pregnancy, well, that doesn't apply to me. Turn the page. Respiration, voice. Child is slow in learning to talk. Faint, weak voice, exhausting from talking, like a weakness of organs of speech coming from hypochondria. Imperfect development of muscles of tongue and larynx. Hoarseness in the morning with much mucus in the throat. Unable to talk or sing, feels as if one had to swallow over a lump. Yeah, I've got that, but only in later life actually. Throat has been penciled with nitrate of silver. Do you know colloidal silver? Is that nitrate of silver? I hope it isn't, because I've abused of that otherwise. To keep COVID at bay, isn't it? Hold on, colloidal silver, not colossal, you imbecile, versus nitrate of silver. What are the differences? It's an alternative to silver nitrate, colloidal silver. So I've not had, hopefully, silver nitrate. It's not good to abuse too much of metals, really, even if they're good ones. Nitrate of silver. Pain on both sides of the larynx, mostly the right side. Ill effects of long speaking. I used to have it, less now. Scraping in larynx with rough voices, violent hoarseness, early, worse in the morning. Rough, short, hacking cough, soreness in the larynx, oppression of the chest with burning in the hand, dry catarrh of larynx and trachea, cold, dry, tickling or white with yellow or bloody sputa, voice hoarse, breathing anxious and oppressed, soreness and feeling of dryness in larynx and trachea, accumulation of transparent mucus in larynx in the morning. Yeah. Acute or chronic inflammation of windpipe with clear watery frothy phlegm, loose and rattling, sometimes raised with difficulty. Chronic bronchial catarrh of anemic persons. Then there's a breathing. dyspnea from manual labor, attacks of suffocation, asthma, yeah, used to, breath, hot, offensive breath, cough. There's a lot about coughing. Every remedy has lots and lots about coughing. I'm not too interested in coughing because I can't cough. Due to that, I must be very careful not to cough. Heart, neck and back, painful stiffness of the neck, yes. Upper limbs, lameness, pain in shoulder joint. Cramps in hands. Lower limbs, come on, show me some dreams, please. Rest position, no, I don't want to read that, there's too much to read. Sleep, frequent yawning and stretching, aversion to motion. Sleepy but cannot sleep, yes, that has happened. Sleepy by day, sleepless at night, I used to be. Drowsiness with inability to sleep, so poor. From water in brain, in diphtheria, in acute disease, in smallpox. On falling asleep, twitching in limbs and electric shocks throughout whole body. Used to be through my legs mostly. Talking in sleep, restless nights. I used to talk. My sister used to tell me I used to talk all the time at night. I wish she told me what I said. It probably was interesting. It must be. At night you could tell secrets, couldn't you? Talking, yes. Very anxious dreams with weeping in sleep. Yes. Much too vivid dreams, visions in sleep, wakefulness for hours, difficulty falling asleep after waking. Dreams of frightful robbers in the house and will not believe the contrary until search is made, about which she is busy for a long time after waking, of burning thirst. During siesta, starts and talks in sleep, tosses about, somnambulism, rising and sitting about, sleeplessness from nervous restlessness with desire to sleep, especially marked in the legs. Time. Forenoon dullness of head. Towards noon ravenous hunger. Afternoon heat, pain in the knees, chill. All day depressed, sad, disheartened, pressing, throbbing headache. I wish I had had more headaches and this would be applying more to me, wouldn't it? So during day, vomiting and diarrhea, brownish diarrhea, sweat. It's funny that they show you what happens in time with a remedy. As in your symptoms, rather. Any dreams, or is that it for the dreams about the robbers? I've had dreams of robbers not long ago. Twice since the last remedy, actually. Attacks, periodicity, vertigo with noses, pain in the eyes, constipation, attacks of chorea, whatever that is. Epileptic attacks. You know what? I think that's what I had when I was a kid, an epileptic thing. That's why they gave me Valium for 3 days. That's not good, is it? Yeah, it is epilepsy. It seemed to only happen once. Do we remember when we've had an epilepsy crisis? Do we remember we've been all around the floor like trashing and going about? I don't know. I have to look it up. Not now, though. I need a pee and I want to get to the dream section if there's one in this book. Tissues, touch, come on. Oh, come on, page. You don't want to open. You want me to go to bed or what? Yes, I'm going to bed very soon. Oh, cramp. Touch, passive motion injury, skin. Physicals, herpes. Shingles. Rupia, scale on scalp. Yeah, I used to. Red spots. Red spots as large as a head of pin over whole body, preceded by sensation of... Oh, they're just spots, aren't they? Comedons, acne, eczema. Fungus hematodes. Ooh. Smallpox with salivary flow. Boil small. Warts in the palm of the hands. I used to have them as a kid. But then I suppose every kids get warts, don't they? Like everybody must get them. Effects of insect bites. Sting of bees, mosquitoes. It doesn't say much about that. Bloody mosquitoes. Baby, a few months old, catarrhal stenosis of lacrimal duct. That's the tear gland, isn't it? I know I was treated after a vaccine as a kid for having conjunctivitis with some pus. Those stuff are sick, aren't they? Interesting. I'll have to tell my homeopath. Fear of... is that the age? Yeah, I suppose it is, yeah. Girl at 6, fear of robbers at night. What does ague means? Oh, I won't look now. That's exciting. Well, come on, any dreams? I'm looking now. It says people at a certain age see if they don't develop fibroids. I can't see that, no. Oh, egg must be some disease. Oh no, I see. These are like patients' cases, and they're saying so and so at this age suffering for 5 weeks of quote an ague. Relations antidoted by no dreams. Oh, no dreams. Oh, it will be in the other books and the ones I've not covered the dreams, I think. Natrum Muriaticum, mind, weakness or loss of memory, remembers nothing of yesterday. I thought that was just, oh, that's good that it's a symptom. It doesn't have to be senility of the mind. Absent-minded or distracted while talking, does not know what he ought to say, awkward in talking, easily make mistakes. Awkward, hasty in the mind, drops things from nervous weakness, dullness, difficulty of thinking, yes. Haunted with thoughts that something unpleasant will happen, yes. Tries to recollect past disagreeable occurrences for the purpose of thinking on them and indulge in the grief which it causes. God, I've done that so often. He concluding from the look of everyone that he was pitied on account of his misfortune, and he wept. Delirium, with starting of body, picking at bedclothes, wandering and muttering. Delirium tremens, mania, especially when accompanied by paralytic debility. After becoming thoroughly wet, severe headaches with blah blah blah. No desire for work, mental or physical. Taciturnity. Offended at every word. Yes. Avoids company. Yes. Hates persons because they have offended him. Yes. Spleen. Likes to be alone. Yes. Whenever alone, she wishes to cry. She did not know why. Yes, that used to be. Very much inclined to weep and to be excited. Yes. Laughed so immoderately at something not ludicrous that she could not be quieted, and tears came into her eyes so that she looked as though she had been weeping. Luridness with anxiety and fluttering at heart, hastiness and impatience, attacks of great cheerfulness, and merry disposition with great inclination to laugh, sing, and dance. Gloomy thoughts, recalls insults, long since suffered, yes, likes to dwell upon past unpleasant occurrences. Depression of spirits, prevailing depression of mind with spells of irritableness and crossness. Lachrymose depression from being spoken to, concern about the future, sad and weeping mood without cause. Sad and weeping consolation aggravates, a fluttering of heart follows. Very sad, gloomy and foreboding. Excessive sadness during menses with palpitation and morning headache. Alternately sad and excessively merry. Hysteria, melancholic depression and sad apprehension, disheartened all day without definite causes. Palpitation, hypochondriacal mood with constipation. Now, do they mean like thinks he's got every disease under the sun? Because that's definitely my case. Apprehension, feels as if something was going to happen. Brain fag with sleeplessness, gloomy forebodings, exhaustion after talking, embarrassment of brain. A pregnant woman saw a man who had a disfiguring nasal cancer. This haunted her, and she was sure her child would be marked. She was melancholy, avoided society, wept continuously. Oh, interesting. So she was shocked by seeing the man with a disfiguring nasal cancer, and the shock of that traumatized her to the point that she thinks that pregnancy will pick on the fact that she's very shocked by seeing the nasal cancer. That's like the mind is overactive, isn't it? Fear of loss of reason, yes, I've had that. Despairing, hopeless feeling about the future, yes. Hypochondriacal, tired of life, joyless, indifferent, taciturn. Weak will, great irritability, child irritable and cross when spoken to, crying from slightest cause. Yes, I thought that was pulsatia because they cry all the time. Very ill-humoured in the morning, yes, used to be. Quarrelsome fretfulness, gets into a passion about trifles. Passionate vehemence. Yeah. Hateful and vindictive nature, yes. I'm trying not to. I'm doing my best now. Thanks to Bashar, to feel gratitude and stuff. Fearfulness, very easily startled, yes. Bad effect from anger. When trying to comfort him, he gets into a violent rage. Yeah, I hate being comforted. I hate it. Always hated it. Anthropophobia. Is that like phobia of seeing other people? Anthropo. I think it's something to do with humans. Not just misanthropist. So what a difference? I don't know. Consequence of fright, anger, vexation, mortification, or reserved displeasure. After a fight, chorea. I don't know what chorea is. I'm not look it up now. After violent fits of passion, paralysis. I don't know, I've never had any of those. Fits of passion, what's that? Oh, weariness in the head. Empty feeling in the head with anguish. Weak, faint feeling in the head and chest, walking in the sun. Dullness of the head as if too heavy in morning or forenoon. After thinking, feeling of heaviness in the head as if it would fall forward, increasing with headache across forehead. Vertigo, dullness of head with flickering before eyes. Objects turn around, tendency to fall forward. After shooting in the head as if she would fall to left. When rising from bed in the morning. Periodical with nausea, irritations, colic, trembling limbs, nausea and headache, as if a cold wind was blowing through head. I really need a pee. Suppressed hemorrhageal flow in pregnancy from spirituous, liqueurs, tea, coffee, tobacco, opium again. Of course, they did abuse of opiums, didn't they? From straining eyes or close study on walking when standing near a window. Right, I'll stop there because because I really do need a pee now, and I'm not going to do it in a bucket for you. So, I wish you a good night. Oh, and since you have been very patient, I'll show you a bit what it looks like when I'm standing, because you've not seen it for a few weeks, haven't you? I've been very quiet. Let's put this like that. Now, it's extra large because my bladder is full. So, this is the belly and its symptoms. Now, if I let it out, no, do you know, it's so embarrassing to let it out entirely. I never thought I would grow something like that. It's rather fantastic looking. I should be in a circus, but then they would just think it's pregnancy, so it's not very exciting, really. You know, it's really difficult with trousers, I'll explain. Because if I have high trousers, they fall down. They don't want to stay there. What wants to stay on the round part? It's normal, isn't it? So I have to have waist-high ones. Or I could have trousers like up to here, like old-fashioned ones. I had one once, I made one, it was very nice. But it's gone now. Yes, it's the wall is a little bit busy. Quite enormous, isn't it? Cool, the day where it's going to come out. One day, one day. And even if I must wait for the passing for it to come out, well, I'll wait for that. I don't mind. Do you know, it's so weird. I always felt sorry with people who are big, you know, the ones who are overweight. Because when I was younger, I was always thin. And I felt nearly guilty not to have the same problems as them. And then when the fibroid grew, I understood how they must feel. In a similar way, it's not the same because it's in a different place. So it's interesting sometimes how we feel and think. Sometimes we can have too much, what do you call it? Feel too sorry for people and we take on their conditions, or we think we want to learn their condition and how they feel. Wow, it's enormous. Oh my God, look, in this position, it looks like there's a filter on it. It looks like a breast nearly, actually, with a nipple here. Wow, it contains a whole earth in this. This is quite outstanding. I wouldn't be doing this, looking at this, if it wasn't knowing that one of you out there really enjoys looking at this. Do you know, to me, it looks nearly monstrous. I can't dissociate my thoughts from when I look at it. And you know what I want to do? I want to run away from my body so I don't have to be in it. And the more I want to do that, the more it is there, because I'm unable to do that until the death and the passing of this body. I would so much like to know what is trapped in there. so much. Wow. I should give myself a standing ovation for the courage it takes to do this. Because it does. It does. If you were inside me, I bet you wouldn't be doing this. But why not? Why not take advantage of it? It's there, so instead of hiding, we should really take responsibility for what we have and enjoy it if we can. I enjoy the attention in some way, whatever. I've always enjoyed attention, even if it's the wrong sort. Does it matter? No, as long as you enjoy yourself, it's fine. So I wish you a good night, and I see you've been very chatty. Have you told me anything about homeopathy? No. Well, I don't think you have said anything anyway. Ah. Interesting. Right. I'm off. I like this shirt. It's really nice. It's soft as well. Off we go, and I wish you a good night. And I keep looking over there, but it's over here.